Little People, Big World star Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick are officially divorced, and now Chris Merrick has been arrested. I'm going to explain everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick, their whirlwind romance, the cracks that turned into chasms, their divorce finalized just weeks ago, and the shocking news of Chris Merrick's arrest. We've spent months piecing this together, talking to sources close to both of them, reviewing court documents, and uncovering the truth behind the Instagram smiles. It all goes back to 2017. After decades of marriage and the intense public attention following her divorce from Matt, Amy Roloff was adjusting to life as a newly single woman. Then Chris Merrick came into her life. He wasn't a little person or a reality star, but a successful real estate broker from Washington who seemed grounded. Introduced by mutual friends, Chris represented stability and a normal life, giving Amy a chance to step out of the shadow of the farm. He was loved by fans, kind, encouraging, hugged her family, seemed comfortable on the sidelines of LPBW, and genuinely loved Amy. They were all relieved when Amy and Chris got engaged in 2019. Amy seemed to have found her happily ever after. Their August 2021 wedding in Riverside was a romantic affair and broadcast on television. Chris promised, "Amy's rock will be Chris," and Amy said this chapter was meant to be. But behind the carefully curated Instagram images and TLC appearances, rumors began to circulate. Sources say adjusting from dating bliss to married life under the reality TV lens was not easy for Chris. A quiet man suddenly thrust into a very public life struggled. People close to the couple say Chris became increasingly uncomfortable with the constant filming and public exposure. Every argument could end up on camera, and the pressure began to wear on him. Chris loved Amy, but he hated the circus of reality TV. He detested feeling that his life wasn't his own. Suddenly, he was Amy Roloff's spouse, and after quietly building a successful career, he felt trapped. He began avoiding cameras whenever possible, which upset producers and, at times, Amy. Property disputes added to the tension. Amy's Portland condo was her main home, while Chris maintained his residence in Washington. Insiders say this physical divide became symbolic. Amy had strong ties to Oregon with her family, grandchildren, and the Roloff farm's legacy, while Chris had business and personal connections in Washington. They often disagreed about where to live, and compromise was difficult. Amy wanted to stay in Oregon. Chris didn't want to leave Washington completely. As Amy focused on her memoir and other projects, she wanted a partner to share her everyday life in Portland, but Chris seemed increasingly distant. Signs of strain were subtle but visible. Chris stopped appearing on Amy's social media. Public appearances together became less frequent, and Amy's posts focused more on her work, solo trips, children, and grandchildren. The story of the perfect couple was falling apart. The split was officially announced in May 2023, though the couple had actually separated months earlier, in late 2022. Fans were surprised. The public announcement was made through Amy's website, noting it was a difficult decision and requesting privacy. While the public saw the breakup as friendly, Amy reportedly suffered greatly. She was devastated, having thought Chris was her forever. The speed at which things fell apart after the wedding shocked her. Privately, it was heartbreaking, though she put on a strong public front. Chris seemed determined, and perhaps even relieved, to avoid the spotlight. Their divorce in Oregon was quiet and extremely private. No public disputes over property were reported. Sources say both wanted a fast, uncontested divorce and hired skilled attorneys. Amy kept her business interests and Portland condo, while Chris retained his assets and Washington homes. Their divorce was finalized quietly in late June 2024. Many thought Amy would recover quickly, focusing on her book, boutique, and family, while Chris faded from the public eye. It seemed like the peaceful end of their story. But then came the shock. On the morning of July 15, 2024, it was confirmed that Christopher Merrick had been arrested in Clark County, Washington. Early on July 14th, police received a 911 call from Chris's home reporting a serious altercation. A female acquaintance visiting the house said Chris became violent, pushed her, and knocked her into furniture, causing minor bruises. He then allegedly smashed furniture and threw objects around the house. The woman refused medical treatment immediately. Chris was reportedly aggressive and intoxicated when deputies arrived. Despite initial lack of cooperation, he was arrested without further problems, processed at Clark County Jail, and released on bond pending his court appearance. It's important to note that these are allegations. Chris Merrick is entitled to due process and the presumption of innocence. But the charges, including domestic abuse, are serious and disturbing. This was not a minor incident. It involved someone he knew and took place in his home. Social media reacted strongly, with fans showing shock, anger, and support for Amy. #StandWithAmy became a trending hashtag. Many speculated about Amy's reaction and whether she was relieved to be out of the relationship. Amy Roloff has remained silent publicly, making no comments or Instagram posts, and her representatives have declined all inquiries. People close to her say the news horrified her and deeply shook her. The accusations painted a very different picture of the man she married, even though they had been divorced for weeks. While there is lingering pain and a sense of betrayal, sources say Amy also feels relief that she is no longer in that relationship. Most importantly, she is heartbroken for the victim involved. Anger is there too, anger at the decisions Chris made and at the fact that this happened. But there is also a lot of sadness. It's heartbreaking to think the man Amy loved could allegedly do something like this. It feels like the last ugly shattering of the fairy tale she believed in. Right now, she is leaning on her children and her closest friends. She doesn't want to get involved in the chaos. Chris Merrick's world has fallen apart. His real estate brokerage website is down, and his reputation at work is ruined. No one has been able to reach him or his attorney. Regardless of the legal outcome, he faces serious consequences, including the possibility of jail, fines, mandatory treatment, and the lifelong stigma that comes with a domestic violence arrest. He also has an upcoming court date. The Roloff family has cut ties. Matt Roloff declined to comment, and Audrey, Jeremy, Tori, and Zach have all stayed silent, focusing on supporting their mother. The LPBW production team now faces a difficult situation. How, if at all, will they address this major event in the next season? While Amy's future is what matters most, Chris Merrick's arrest will always cast a shadow. Looking back, were there signs? Hindsight makes some things obvious. Chris's growing distance from the cameras may have been a sign of deeper dissatisfaction, which people misunderstood as shyness. Their separate residences may have encouraged some distance. But nothing suggested the kind of instability that led to this arrest. Now it forces a harsh reassessment. Was Chris's laid-back charm a facade? Did the pressures of his new life bring out something darker? Or was this just a terrible incident fueled by alcohol? Fans' trust in Amy's has been damaged. The legal system may eventually provide answers, but the man who once seemed Amy's rock is now accused of something frighteningly different. This is a reminder that behind closed doors, reality can be far more chaotic, sad, and even sinister than TV portrays. Amy's strength is being tested like never before. What started as a happy second chapter for Amy and Chris ends with divorce papers and a mugshot, a stark reminder of how quickly life can unravel. Amy must take a new path, focusing on healing, while Chris faces the legal consequences of his choices. Her strength has always set her apart. She has raised 4 kids, run a business, navigated a public divorce, found love again, and now endured a shocking betrayal. She still has her work, faith, family, and the unwavering support of millions of fans who admire her courage. Amy deserves peace, safety, and genuine love, the opposite of what Chris is accused of. We must also respect the privacy of the real victim, the woman reportedly attacked that night. As this case progresses, Amy sees this as a chance to close a toxic chapter and focus on her future, her children, her grandchildren, her passions, and her hard-earned freedom. This story goes beyond celebrity gossip. It touches on domestic abuse, the masks people wear, and the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Amy's silence speaks volumes and should serve as an inspiration. Fans of LPBW have been curious about Amy and Chris's dream home. After selling her Roloff Farms mansion, Amy downsized. While their home was modest, they were searching for a dream house. Amy moved into her $600,000 house with Chris, which Matt later renovated into a rental, upsetting her. Meanwhile, Matt and his fiancée Karen built their own ideal home. Fans have speculated whether Amy and Chris were showing a perfect life for the cameras. Recently, Amy revealed a personal secret, leaving fans curious about the future. On LPBW, they toured a 10,000-square-foot house listed at $1.4 million. Chris loved it, imagining space for the grandkids at Christmas, a huge kitchen, and even a 6-car garage. Amy, however, worried about the expense. She wanted to make sure any purchase fit their budget. Chris insisted on taking time to see if they liked the house and figure out how to pay for it. Despite their home plans, Amy's past experience in large houses and the amount of stuff she accumulated in the farmhouse means she'll adjust carefully. Fans who followed their search noticed the house is expensive, but Amy is cautious. This home is meant to be their retirement house, but she said she would keep working until 85 to afford it. Recently, Amy and Chris left the country, sparking speculation. Why? Fans are asking what's going on behind the scenes. The new season of LPBW premiered as Zach and Tori announced it may be their last. This has made season 25 heavily scrutinized. Even if the show ends, Amy's net worth of $6 million and Chris's estimated $10 million mean they can still live comfortably, potentially retiring in luxury. This has been a full update on Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick, their home plans, travels, shocking news, and the aftermath of divorce and arrest. Despite all the drama and heartbreak, Amy Roloff has shown resilience time and time again. She has faced public scrutiny, personal loss, and the pressures of life in the spotlight, and yet she continues to move forward. Her focus now is on her family, her health, and her career. Amy has 4 children, several grandchildren, a thriving boutique, and multiple business ventures. These priorities give her purpose and stability, and she has relied on her loved ones more than ever during this difficult period. The impact of Chris Merrick's arrest has been felt not only in Amy's personal life, but also in her public image. Fans have expressed outrage and sympathy across social media, flooding Amy with messages of support. #StandWithAmy trended as people rallied around her, demonstrating how deeply her followers care for her well-being. Although the divorce had already ended their marriage quietly, this event served as a shocking reminder of the unpredictability of life and the hidden struggles that can exist behind public appearances. For Amy, the challenge now is maintaining her emotional health while navigating the ongoing legal case. She has made it clear through her silence that she wants privacy and peace, and her friends and family have been instrumental in helping her cope. While Chris faces the court system, Amy can focus on what matters most: her children, her grandchildren, her work, and her own recovery from the trauma of betrayal. Looking back on Amy and Chris's relationship, it's possible to see small warning signs that were easy to overlook. Chris's growing discomfort with cameras, his reluctance to engage with the LPBW filming schedule, and their separate residences were all early indicators that things were not as smooth as they appeared. At the time, many interpreted his behavior as shyness or simply a preference for privacy, but the arrest has forced a reevaluation. Fans are left wondering whether Chris's charming exterior masked deeper issues, whether the pressures of his new life revealed darker tendencies, or if this incident was an isolated lapse. Meanwhile, Amy has also had to manage public curiosity about her personal life and home plans. After selling the Roloff Farms mansion, she and Chris lived in a smaller home while keeping an eye out for their dream property. Chris, known for his ambitious nature, wanted a house with space for entertaining, family gatherings, and his hobbies. One property that drew significant attention was a $1.4 million home with a massive kitchen, a 6-car garage, and plenty of space for grandchildren. While Chris was enthusiastic about purchasing the property, Amy expressed caution about the cost and practicality. Their differing perspectives on the home reflected larger patterns in their relationship, highlighting compromises that were sometimes difficult to make. Their recent trip abroad added another layer to public speculation. Fans wondered if they were attempting to escape scrutiny or simply taking time for personal matters. With season 25 of LPBW airing, viewers saw glimpses of their dream home search and lifestyle, but the underlying tensions were not visible on camera. The combination of Amy's cautious approach, Chris's ambitious nature, and the pressures of reality TV created a complex dynamic that many outside observers could not fully understand. Financially, both Amy and Chris are well-positioned. Amy's net worth is estimated at $6 million, while Chris's is thought to exceed $10 million. This means that even without the TV show, they have the resources to live comfortably and pursue their personal goals. However, the arrest and legal issues could impact Chris's financial future, reputation, and career opportunities. For Amy, the financial security provides a degree of independence and reassurance as she focuses on rebuilding her life post-divorce. The emotional weight of these events cannot be overstated. Amy has faced disappointment, betrayal, and shock, but she has also demonstrated remarkable courage. Her experience serves as a reminder of the complexities behind public figures' lives, and the reality that domestic issues and personal struggles can exist even in seemingly perfect relationships. Fans and the public are encouraged to respect her privacy while acknowledging the strength required to navigate such challenges. For those who have experienced similar situations, Amy's story highlights the importance of support systems, personal boundaries, and self-care. Leaning on family, friends, and trusted advisors can provide stability during turbulent times. Amy's focus on her children and grandchildren, combined with her professional endeavors, reflects a commitment to maintaining normalcy and resilience even when faced with unexpected crises. The story of Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick also touches on broader issues such as domestic violence and the facades people maintain in public life. It underscores the importance of awareness, compassion, and vigilance when it comes to personal relationships. While Chris's case unfolds in the legal system, the public can see that appearances do not always reflect reality. Even those who seem stable, loving, and composed may be facing internal struggles or exhibiting behavior that is harmful to others. Amy's journey continues to inspire. Despite personal setbacks, she remains a figure of fortitude and grace. Her ability to balance a public life with private pain, while continuing to pursue her goals, is remarkable. The contrast between the hopeful beginning of her relationship with Chris and the subsequent challenges reminds us of life's unpredictability and the need for resilience in the face of adversity. As fans watch developments unfold, Amy's focus remains clear: healing, protecting her family, and maintaining her independence. She is determined to rise above the turmoil and continue living her life with dignity, strength, and purpose. Meanwhile, the legal system will determine the consequences for Chris Merrick, and the public must allow due process to take its course while respecting the privacy of all involved, including the woman who was reportedly harmed in the incident. This story is a testament to the complexity of human relationships, the pressures of public life, and the resilience required to overcome personal trauma. Amy Roloff's experience serves as both a cautionary tale and an example of strength. It reminds us that behind the cameras, behind the carefully curated images, real life can be messy, painful, and unpredictable. Ultimately, Amy is choosing to focus on the positive aspects of her life: her family, her work, and her freedom. She has faced numerous challenges in her life, including divorce, public scrutiny, and the difficulties of raising children while maintaining a career. Now, she faces one of her most difficult challenges yet. But her track record shows that she is more than capable of handling adversity with grace, intelligence, and resilience. The future for Amy Roloff is filled with opportunity, despite recent heartbreak. She can continue building her business, writing, spending time with her grandchildren, and pursuing her passions. Chris Merrick will face the consequences of his actions, and the public will watch as the legal process unfolds. This separation of paths underscores the importance of accountability, personal responsibility, and the impact of choices on both oneself and others. As this situation continues, it is essential to remember the lessons it provides. Trust must be earned, appearances can be deceiving, and support from loved ones is invaluable. Amy's silence and strength serve as a model for those navigating personal crises, emphasizing the value of dignity, privacy, and perseverance. In the end, Amy Roloff's story is one of courage and resilience. From her time on Little People, Big World to her personal challenges with love, divorce, and betrayal, she has consistently demonstrated the ability to face adversity head-on. Her journey reminds us that even in the most public of lives, the private battles are often the most difficult. Amy's continued focus on her family, work, and well-being reflects her unwavering commitment to living a life of integrity and strength. This is the ongoing story of Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick: dreams, heartbreak, resilience, and the harsh realities of life behind the camera. Amy's strength, courage, and focus on what truly matters will guide her through this difficult chapter, while the consequences of Chris Merrick's choices unfold in the public and legal arenas. Even with all that has happened, Amy Roloff continues to focus on the positive parts of her life. Her children, grandchildren, and close friends are her anchor. She has always been a devoted mother and grandmother, and now more than ever, her family provides her with stability, comfort, and strength. While the public watches and speculates, Amy's priority is keeping her loved ones safe and maintaining her own well-being. Chris Merrick's arrest has left a lasting impact on those around him, particularly